sad that you watch the Lorcana Dads.
All right. Hey, everybody, and welcome back to the Lorcana Dads. Jason and I are getting to sit down tonight and talk again. It's been a while, buddy.
Yeah, it's been a few days.
Yep. I didn't wear my black Lorcana Dad shirt tonight because we got all this new Ursula reveal stuff, and I had to sport my girl. She's right there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, right
Everything's
there.
backwards, so I'm trying to. I didn't wear my Ursula tank top. Jason might have quit on me if I'd whipped that out.
No,
Um,
I just
it's
would have rolled
been
off screen.
Yeah, he just went right off screen. No, but there's been a lot going on in the world of Lorcana lately. Jason and I got to play this week. How have you been feeling about Lorcana, Jason?
Pretty good. It seems like a lot of decks that were pretty good tier 1 or tier 2 in set 2 have become the next step up.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Ruby Sapphire, which was a tier 2 deck in set 2, has stepped up to about tier 1.
Yeah.
Same with Sapphire Steel, has almost got, almost a tier 0 deck. And
Yeah.
then what everybody was doubting, including myself, Amber Steel Song, which was a tier 1 deck last season, is now considered the top deck.
Yeah. I think we say things are moving up, but I almost feel like everything's leveling out. Like it's really nice to see because so far what I've played this set it's varied for me. This week I did play what I've liked, Purple Steel, but the matches are very different. Like there's not every match is kind of even. It feels more like we're all on an equal plane, if that makes
Right.
sense. Yeah.
Everybody got tools to kind of diversify the meta.
Yeah.
That, things that worked good last time are pretty good this time and more playable.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things to me that has leveled it out is viewing your opponent's hand, removing songs.
Yeah.
I mean, like that's what I know. Let's just jump into talking about this week because I think that sort of segues. But for me this week, I went back because I was losing at league play. Just wasn't doing well with anything. So I went back to Purple Steel and started playing that this week, and I did pretty well. I finished fifth or sixth. I think Jason and I finished fifth or sixth together.
Yeah, you were fifth, I was
week.
sixth. It was a
And
4-way tie for third.
yeah. But what got me this week was song removal. The guy that I played in the last round, he had the draw power and he had the song removal. He took away some of my cards like grab your sword so that I couldn't play them to wipe his board, and he just kept characters on the table. So
yeah, with the Ursula.
Yep, with the Ursula.
Yeah.
He used the Ursula. And then I built my wife's, I saw her play somebody that used Bare Necessities to take away a song, which it's golden because if you can get rid of turn 6, if you know that Be Prepared's coming, you can get rid of it.
Well, that was kind of the strategy, how some things have changed now. Is like I played Ruby Sapphire. And originally the idea was, you kind of wanted to have a Be Prepared in hand so you could ramp and have maybe the Be Prepared play on turn 5 or turn 4 if you ramped hard enough.
Yeah.
But knowing that other people expect that, I mulligan out of a Be Prepared and hope.
Yeah.
And then I had to hope that I draw it. And sometimes it don't work. You're in the same spot.
Well, that's like, I said I'm playing Purple Steel. I wasn't going for the Jafar Whole New World combo. But now, since Tuesday, I've revised my deck to be a Jafar draw deck. And I'm not just relying on Whole New World, but I've started coming up with what combinations can I use with him.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of them. I mean, there's a lot of them where you can get 4 and 5 lore with only questing one character.
Yep.
And then drawing cards with Genie, drawing cards with the Rabbit, drawing cards with Whole New World, that you get those lore from him.
He's a tough play if you make your deck to just be that combo,
yeah,
it's tough.
Right.
But if you have
I've got
it as
some other things in there.
if you have it as a backup win condition, kind of like a lucky dime, if you have it kind of in your bag to be able to use, it's way better.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's I haven't been huge on the mulligan, but now when I'm thinking through that deck, I'm going, okay, do I hard mulligan to have that 7-drop Jafar in my hand? Or do I hard drop to have a whole new world and hope I get it? Or do I hard mulligan for both of them?
Right.
Because the other side of my deck is removal. I have 20 removal cards in there. So my goal is just keep you off the board. It's not so much me getting lore until I get to Jafar, but just make sure you don't get any. So, and what you played,
I
we didn't
played the
play
Ruby
this week.
Sapphire.
Ruby Sapphire.
Yeah, the Ruby Sapphire Lucky Gaston. I kind of swapped it because of the amount of uninkables. A lot of the decks now have a high amount of uninkables. The Amber Steel Song's playing like 20, 21 uninkables. And this one was up in the low 20s. You can get around it with the Fishbone Quill because it'll link, uninkables. But that was just kind of a high amount of uninkables for me to try to play with. So I swapped the Gaston for Kit.
Okay.
He's a 6-drop inkable with a 3 lore because I was kind of only going to use him as the Lucky Dime trigger. I never even really saw or could play them like I would a Gaston. And the Gaston's better because he does search your deck for things, drawing the 3 or 4 cards and letting you put one in your hand. But I just had to avoid the uninkables, and that was kind of a tech that I had to make.
Well, for me, so the Jafar trick worked in the first match. I got the first game of the night. I had 1 Jafar, Whole New World, got the 7 lore 1. Second match, I had 2 Jafars on the table, Whole New World, 14 lore, 7 lore the first game. Sorry. My second match, my deck has a lot of the same pieces from round 2. My Madam Mim dragons and stuff like that allow me to bounce. So, and I won that one. But then my third round, I was playing someone who was using the strategy that I did with set 2. Bounce the goat, bounce the rabbit, bounce them all. And it was hard because they also were playing the green with it to get rid of my songs. So, I did really well up until the third pairing. And I know what changes I need to make to my deck now.
Well, we had a common opponent that we lost to, and they were playing the Emerald Amethyst bounce aggro kind of tempo deck, which was the only aggro deck I played and the only loss I had, which is aggro is the weakness for Ruby Sapphire. Any control deck is going to be weaker to an aggro deck. Yeah. I did my best. I ramped to 7 ink for turn 4 or 5 because I had to. And just didn't draw that Be Prepared.
Yeah. So. I have to mention it. I brought in my coffee cup tonight to compete with Jason's chip, and he's done got a light up golden chalice. He's Zeus tonight.
This is from Be Our Guest at Disney World.
Okay. Well, I don't know what I ain't got no light up cups, Jason. I can't compete with that. Okay, so we've talked about.
The chip one was in the dishwasher.
Oh, yep. We talked about what we got league play. So now we're moving into those championships that are coming up in April, which we've still got a couple of videos before then. But what do you think after playing so far? Because I think now we have to start honing in on that championship. I mean, that's the goal for April, is win one of those Stitch cards. So what is the goal? What do you think you're going to play for that? Or how are you going to fine tune what you want to play?
So I found that most often I run into aggro decks because I think it's the prevalence of Ruby Amethyst control and other control type decks. Aggro is pretty big to combat that. So I need to probably go to a more mid-range deck. Something that I can control a little bit or stay taking their pieces off the board and hopefully get them to where they start top decking with nothing on the board.
Let me ask you this, Jason, because I even still having been playing this for 9 months and we've never addressed this. There's aggro, control, mid-range, tempo.
And combo.
and combo. Will you define those? Because there's a lot of new people that watch us.
Yeah.
I know aggro is highly aggressive. It's questing for lore early, playing
Yeah.
those characters that get lots of lore, like Flynn Rider, Pinocchio, all those like 1-drop 2 quest, 2-drop 3 quest. But what do you mean when you say mid range?
Mid range is somewhere in between control. It's exactly what it means by mid range. It's somewhere in between. It's not quite a combo deck. It's not quite a control deck. I don't really want to misspeak and not have the right definition because I don't have that on hand. I know what it means to me, but it may not be the official TCG lingo. So let me pull something up real quick. That way I define it.
When you say
properly.
control, I've looked for it before and couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But while you're looking that up, I'll talk about kind of what I'm thinking I'm going to play. I'm going to fine tune my Amethyst Steel. It's what I like to play. I think mine, because I don't know the definitions, I think it's more of a control tempo deck. Trying to control I assume that means controlling the tempo at which your opponent is able to quest or whatever. So I want purple. I just love purple steel cards. And with some of the stuff they've talked about with the set 4, I feel like purple steel is going to be what I stick with for a while until something else comes along. And plus, if I could make one comment for my opinion about the game, draw power wins and loses you a game.
Yes.
In a heartbeat. I don't care what cards you're playing, but if you don't have draw power or you do have draw power, it is a game changer.
Well, before I get into the definitions, there are 3 phases to the game to me.
Yeah.
There's hand presence, or how much you have in your hand.
The
more you have in your hand is one phase of the game that can cause you to win. I just bumped my mic. Your board presence, how many characters you have on the board, or items or locations, that can win you a game. And what else we got? Ink.
Draw power?
Ink,
yeah.
Ink. So if you're ahead on your draw, ahead on your hand size, ahead on board presence, and ahead on ink, you should almost always win.
Yeah.
It's kind of like football. You have defense, offense, and special teams.
Yeah.
If you can beat your opponent on 2 of those 3, then you're going to win the game.
Well, I think that's the struggle I had this week in our common opponent was I could keep them off the board, but once they built up the ink, I'd spent 3 or 4 turns keeping them off the board, spending my ink to play removal cards, and then by the time I started getting stuff on the board, I just couldn't catch up.
Well, yeah, if you're hard casting songs, paying ink for songs instead of having somebody sing it, it's not very efficient, and it's in their benefit. Like, you'll remove something, but you had to use your whole turn to do that.
Yeah. And that was the issue I had, is I think maybe I need to look at toning down songs and items to have a couple of more low-cost characters to flood the board a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, 4 1-drop characters on the board is just as good as a grab your sword just about. So
my deck was weak to aggro, but I kept drawing into my ink stuff in my ramp. So I couldn't answer that because I just didn't draw into my queens to rush. And that Emerald Amethyst benefits from discard. They have the Merfolk and the Flynn. So I either had to empty my hand to ink it or discard it. So that put my opponent in the better hand size phase versus my, being better on ink.
Yeah.
So that, if I start top decking, of course I could play everything I top deck, but I just had to hope that I top decked the right thing.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got the mid range, and it was pretty much what I was saying. Is a deck archetype where the deck is balanced between aggro and control.
And control, they're saying, do you have the definition of control pulled up there too?
Yeah. Control is centers around taking control of the game, preventing the other player from doing what they want. These decks find unique ways to win the game. It's usually removal.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. In the Lorcana sense, it's playing those removal cards.
Yeah.
Or
it's either removal
or
a bounce. Somehow to affect your opponent's board presence.
Okay.
And
Gotcha. It's affecting their board presence, not so much yours.
right.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I think they have tempo. Yeah, like most games, collectible card games will typically have one player driving the interactions and one player reacting. Your turn one is what they call on the play, and your turn two is on the draw.
Okay.
So your person on the play is your driving the interactions because you're always going to respond on turn two.
Yeah.
Tempo is an extremely important advantage and usually defaults to whoever goes first, creating a disparity between the rate at which you are casting creatures with increased quality and your opponent's ability to do the same. Whoever's in control of the tempo of the match controls the game.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And I'd looked them up before, but just couldn't remember exactly what it said.
Well, that's why they call that green-purple deck a tempo deck, is because they're bouncing your characters back so you cannot stay on the same tempo that they are.
Gotcha. So you're behind them. Your
Yes.
tempo's slower. Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, I think that was a lot of good information there. So, I guess so. We've talked about what we're going to play. Do we want to do we want to talk about the new cards? So let me see. I've got them pulled up here. You know, there was a lot of releases, and Jason and I didn't really talk about them last week because we didn't have time last week. So now we're going to spend a little bit of time. So I've got it pulled up here. I think you can see two of those, can't you, Jason?
Yeah. See the Aerial Sonic Warrior and the Mirabelle Madrigal.
All right, so let's look at, and these are both going to be super rare, but the Aerial has Shift 4.
Yep.
3 with an 8 body, which is crazy nice.
Yes.
And 2 lore. And she has the ability, whenever you play a song, you may pay 2 ink to deal 3 damage to chosen character. Which that's
pretty stout.
Yeah, because it's gonna be. I mean, if you play grab your sword and deal 2 damage across the board, then use her ability, you've taken out one of your 5-bodied characters, which that's one of the things I struggled with this week was I can deal enough damage, but I'm not taking them out.
Right.
So, and then Maribel, who is a 5 uninkable, and also go back to Ariel, she's inkable, which is really nice.
That's crazy that she's inkable.
Yeah.
And Mirabelle is not inkable.
And Maribel's not, but she has support, and whenever this character quests, your other magical characters get +1 lore, and she quests for 2 lore, and she's got a decent body, Jason. I mean, she's 5.
3/5.
Yeah, she's decent. I mean, I don't know how much, unless the theme decks keep building, you know, I don't know how much play she'll see outside of a theme deck.
Yeah.
All right, there's Bruno, who we can't really talk about.
Yeah, we don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno. But I'll bet we see an enchanted Bruno. How much you want to bet there?
I can almost put money down on the enchanted Ariel, but the Bruno would be a really cool art. I like the art as it is, so to see that.
Yeah, I mean and then he got that feature in the little video.
Yeah.
He's all, but hey, that's a nice skill though. We're gonna have to talk about it. Whenever this character quest, chosen character, when this character is banished in a challenge, you may return this card to your hand this turn, which could be huge. You could use him with Yzma, attack Yzma, she bounces back to your hand, and then next turn you can play her again and bounce somebody's card.
Yeah.
I mean,
he kind of fits in line with the Fairy Godmother, Mystic Armor, and the Dr. Facilier.
Yep.
Which, with him being uninkable, I would probably opt for them if you were going to go that route.
Yep. Unless you're playing the magical deck. And then we go over to Dolores, 3/3. She's a 4-drop, so I'm going to have to look around my camera. Magical Informant. When you play this character, if an opponent has an exotic character in play, you may draw a card. Hey.
That's pretty good. Bad. She replaces herself.
Yep. And she's 4-drop.
Yeah,
so you could play, she would add nice draw power and good lore because you could play you could still play that 3-drop Maleficent on turn 3 and play her the next turn, and then you've got a card both turns.
Yeah.
It keeps your hand full, like you were talking about hand size.
Yeah.
Right,
the thing that I've noticed is that the first reveals aren't always the best cards.
Right, yeah.
I could see situations where I might play them and they kind of look cool now, but I'm tempering my expectations.
We've got Louisa. She's got Rush. She's 4-drop, 4/3. Why is she uninkable?
It's the same stats as Madam Mim, but Madam Mim
Yeah,
has to have another character to bounce.
yeah,
So Luisa's pretty much the same thing. Because you're for Madam Mim Fox, you would still have to have paid for something else to be out there.
gotcha.
This one you
So this
just
she allows you to keep 2 characters on the table.
yeah,
Then you've got Felix. I don't see him getting much play.
it's vanilla.
Yep. Then we've got Julieta Madrigal, 3-drop, 1/4. When you replay this character, you may remove a 2 damage from chosen character. If you remove damage this way, you may draw a card. That sounds just like another card. Is it just like a Rapunzel, maybe?
One of the Rapunzels, I think, or maybe a mixture. But that's only
That-
one card, so
yeah, it's
that's
not
not
really.
bad.
Again, in a theme deck, she might bring something to the table.
Right.
Okay, then we go over here to this Mulan Elite Archer, Shift 5 straight shooter. When you play this character, if you use Shift a player, she gets +3. So opening turn, but she only, oh, because she shifts, she's basically at Russian. She's a Russian character.
Yeah.
Rushing, not Russian. She's not Russian. During your turn, whenever this character deals damage, you may shoot to another character and challenge deal the same amount of damage to up to 2 chosen character. Oh,
That's a
that's
lot.
pretty nice. That's real nice.
So
She's kind of
you,
like a souped up Big Tink in a way.
she's. I mean, I don't know what card she would shift onto because we don't really have any great Mulans that I would want to shift.
Right.
But you could always shift on top of this card itself too, just to do that.
True.
Because then you would do the 5 to whatever, and then you could do 5 to 2 other chosen characters if you shift.
Oh, holy moly. So you could deal 5 damage to 3 characters in one turn the first turn she's played.
Yeah, once
Oh,
you
wow.
if you shifted her, because that lets her deal 5 damage.
That's genius.
Yeah.
Or if you paired her with a crab, she'd be 5 in that turn. Anyway, there's a lot there. Let's see. I think that's the last ones.
Yeah,
No, we
you
got
could
2 more.
bounce. You could put the crab in and wipe a board.
Yeah, with her. Yep.
Yeah. On
So
every
then the
turn.
last 2 we've got there's 4 more. Man, I didn't know there was this many reveals. Mickey Mouse, he's got shift, dealt damage, resist, sweep away. Another broom synergy going in there. When
Yeah.
play this character, deal damage doesn't get equal to the number of broom characters you have in play. Then we've got the powerful sorcerer.
Yep.
When you play this character, you may to have a character named Magic Broom in play, you may draw a card. When you have 2 or more Magic Brooms in play, this character gets +2 lore. There's a lot of broom synergy. Like, the broom decks are steadily gaining steam, I think.
And this is Disney. Yen Sid. It's
Yes.
the wizard from Fantasia.
Yes, I had to ask who he was, but my wife loves Fantasia. Okay, then we got 2 more, a Goofy, 4-drop, Rush, Super Peanut Powers. Whenever this character challenges another character, gain 2 lore. Ooh, wow. That'll get some play, I think.
Yeah.
Because is he decent bodied? So you could at least get 4 lore from him while taking out other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Then we've got Rapunzel. While you have this character named Pascal in play, she gets Ward, 5-drop. Maybe if we got a better Pascal.
Yeah, people are playing Sapphire Amethyst right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're running out of time.
Oh. All right, let's keep going. We got Hans and Daisy Duck. Hans is a pretty good card. When you play this character, if Princess Queen characters play, gain 1 lore. The Trident and Anna. Banish this item. Chosen character gets +1. If you have a hero in play, she gets +1 lore.
Yeah.
So some decent cards. Decent cards.
But like I said, earlier reveals aren't always going to be your best cards.
Yeah.
I think we got about
4
4 minutes left.
Okay. Well, maybe that's it for today then. I want to talk about this one so much, but we'll hold that one for the next because we don't have a lot of details about it yet.
Yeah, we don't really have much.
No, we don't have much, but that's one that I'm excited about, y'all. This Ursula's Revenge, Ursula Returns Quest, Double Trouble, where you can play with a friend, or you can play by yourself, which is really cool.
Yeah, something to do at home if you're bored.
All right, Jason. Well, that is We covered a lot tonight.
Yeah, it was a good bit.
Good bit. So
We're at
I will not
25
be.
minutes.
Yeah, I will not be back at league play for 3 weeks. I'm working out of state for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I think the next time I'll get to play with you guys will be the Stitch tournament.
Ooh.
So I'm going to try to go play in some stuff in Atlanta where I'm working and see if I can find anywhere to play.
They
But
got
I
a
haven't had any luck
10K
yet.
coming up.
I saw that. I'm going to try to play in that one too.
Okay. Good luck.
All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning in,
Thank you.
folks. And Jason, it was good to see you. Hope
Yeah, it was
everybody's
good to
doing
see you
well at
too.
home.
Yeah, I hope everybody's doing good for you too.
Yep.
Be safe doing all that traveling.
Yep. I'm staying over there the next couple of weeks. I won't be traveling but once or twice a week. So,
All right.
all right. Y'all see y'all later. Thanks for watching the Lorcana Dads.
See ya.
Bye, Jason.
Bye.
And don't forget to smash that like button.
And hit that share for our friends on the other side.
And don't forget to turn on all those bell notifications.
And we'll see you on the next video.